Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're here to unpack the really critical ideas shaping things today. Basically, giving you that shortcut to understanding what actually matters. And today, well, we're plunging into a topic that's really shifted. It's gone from being, a nice-to-have competitive edge
Right.
to an absolute must,
Right.
a requirement for staying relevant, for thriving.
Right.
Innovation.
Absolutely. It's fundamental now.
It's not just about getting ahead anymore. It's really about making sure you don't fall behind.
Exactly. It forces a rethink of how we achieve progress, how we grow. Not just in business, but really any field that wants to stay relevant.
So to guide us through this, we've got a fantastic source we've really dug into. It's the book Innovation Management: Strategies to Transform Creative Ideas into Successful Products and Services.
A very practical title.
It is. And our mission here, for you listening, is to distill the core wisdom from this guide, to give you that shortcut, that understanding of how to turn those, creative sparks.
Those light bulb moments.
Yeah, into actual successful products and services, which is crucial, especially now with how fast everything moves.
And what's really great about this source, I think, is the author's background. We're talking over 30 years of actual hands-on experience.
Right. In innovation management, marketing, planning.
Yeah. So this isn't just academic theory. It's a practical, multidisciplinary guide. It's been tested in the real world, offering strategies that actually work, not just, nice ideas.
And the book makes some pretty big promises, which we're definitely going to explore today. Things like showing you how to stop wasting precious time and money, obviously, on decisions that just don't work out in the end.
We've all seen those.
Oh, yeah. Or equipping you with strategies so you can launch your innovations with, minimal risk, really boosting their chances right from the start.
And it goes beyond just the launch, too. The book really gets into techniques for managing your teams better, refining your processes. It's not just about one single great idea. It's about building a system, something repeatable that significantly lifts the success rate for all your innovation efforts.
So the ultimate goal here, the big payoff, is turning those initial ideas into solutions that are not just any solutions, but profitable ones, and crucially, sustainable ones.
Yes, sustainable is key.
Imagine having this well-oiled innovation engine just constantly delivering value. That's what this book aims to help you build.
And the author makes it clear this is for pretty much anyone looking to innovate more assertively, more strategically.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you're a manager in a big company, an entrepreneur starting something new, a consultant.
Or even a student, maybe.
Absolutely. Students, professors, anyone studying business and innovation, the core principles apply across the board.
So what does all this mean for you listening right now? Well, it really hammers home that central idea from the book. Innovation isn't just a competitive advantage anymore.
No, it's way past that.
It's fundamentally a survival requirement now in this, dynamic world we're in. And this deep dive, it's all about giving you the tools to master that process, to cut down your risks and really speed up your success.
Yeah, let's dig into how the book suggests we actually do that. Because saying it's a survival requirement really changes the game, doesn't it?
It does. How so?
Well, it shifts the whole mindset in an organization. It stops being this optional extra thing or, something only big companies with R&D budgets do.
Okay.
It becomes a core part of strategy, just as vital as finance or operations or marketing. The book frames it as not just reacting to change, but actually creating the future you want your organization to be in.
Okay, that leads perfectly into one of the book's really strong points. How do we avoid wasting all that time and, frankly, money on the wrong decisions?
Oh, the million-dollar question.
Exactly. We've all seen projects, maybe even been on them, that just drain resources and enthusiasm and then poof, gone. How does the book help us avoid that? What's a specific technique?
Well, one key framework the author introduces is something they call the Innovation Portfolio Scorecard.
Okay, a scorecard. Sounds straightforward.
It's a bit more than just a checklist. It's designed to be dynamic. It integrates the quantitative stuff like projected ROI, market size.
The numbers.
The numbers, exactly. But crucially, it blends that with qualitative factors. Things like, how well does this idea align with our overall strategy? How attractive is the market, really? Do we actually have the internal resources, the skills to pull this off? And this scorecard lets organizations compare different ideas at different stages, really transparently. It forces a kind of disciplined evaluation before you sink significant cash into it. It's about challenging your own assumptions systematically.
That's interesting because it's not just about killing bad ideas. It's about making smarter yes decisions, too. right? By comparing them more clearly using data.
Precisely. It moves beyond just relying on, gut instinct or who shouts loudest.
Yeah.
So instead of just brainstorming and picking the shiniest object, you're filtering that creativity through a much more rigorous lens.
Makes sense.
And this often works hand in hand with another concept in the book, hypothesis-driven innovation.
Okay, explain that. Hypothesis-driven.
It means you treat every core assumption about your new idea like, do customers actually need this? Can we technically build it?
Yeah.
Will the business model work? You treat each of those as a hypothesis that needs testing.
Ah, like a science experiment.
Kind of, yeah. Instead of building the whole thing straight away, you design small, quick experiments to validate or invalidate these hypotheses.
What sort of experiments?
Oh, things like building a really basic prototype, maybe A/B testing different messages on a simple landing page, or even just doing targeted interviews with potential customers.
So quick and cheap ways to learn.
Exactly. Get that early feedback from the market, pivot if you need to, and basically de-risk the whole idea with minimal investment. It helps you avoid that trap of, throwing good money after bad because you're already committed.
Right, you're validating the vision in small steps before you take a huge leap. It sounds like it directly tackles that sunk cost fallacy, where you keep going just because you've already spent so much.
It really does. It encourages early course correction.
Okay, so if we're making smarter initial decisions, the next big hurdle is the launch, right? Making sure that's not just a massive gamble. How does the book advise introducing ideas without exposing ourselves to, like, catastrophic failure?
The book really champions what it calls staged market entry.
Staged entry, so not going all in at once.
Exactly. It's not about being slow necessarily, but about being strategic. Instead of one huge make-or-break launch.
High pressure.
Very high pressure. The author advocates for rolling it out in phases. Maybe start with some carefully chosen pilot programs or launch what's often called a minimum viable product, an MVP.
Right, the MVP. Lots of people talk about that.
And it's crucial here. The idea is you deliver just enough value to attract those early adopters, the people willing to try something new.
And give you feedback.
Precisely. You gather that real-world feedback to guide the next version, rather than waiting years to build the perfect product that might miss the mark anyway.
So minimal risk here doesn't mean being timid or doing nothing. It means taking calculated risks through sort of incremental steps, testing the waters.
That's a great way to put it, like test driving the innovation in a controlled way before you let it loose on the main highway.
Okay.
And the book gives specific advice on, how to define success for a pilot. It might not be sales volume initially.
What would it be then?
It could be user engagement levels, satisfaction scores, or just proving that a key feature actually works and people want it. You set clear metrics for each stage.
I see.
This systematic de-risking lets you learn, adapt, save resources, and build confidence both inside the company and with potential customers. It's about applying agility not just to how you build something, but how you introduce it to the world.
It sounds like doing this repeatedly would build up like an organizational muscle for innovation.
That's a really good analogy.
If launches are consistently managed this way, teams probably become less afraid to try new things because there's a process, a framework they trust.
Exactly. They know failure isn't necessarily the end of the world if it happens early and small.
Which brings us to maybe the deeper level. Managing the teams and the processes themselves to really boost success rates overall. This isn't just one idea or one launch. It's about the engine, right? The consistent engine of innovation. What's the book's take here?
The author really pushes for what they describe as a hybrid innovation ecosystem.
Hybrid, meaning mixing different approaches.
Yes. It recognizes that one size doesn't fit all when it comes to innovation. For smaller incremental improvements, maybe a very lean, agile approach works best. Small cross-functional teams empowered to iterate quickly.
Makes sense for optimizations.
But for the really big, potentially disruptive ideas, the breakthrough stuff the book suggests you might need more structure. Something like a stage gate process is mentioned. But, and this is important, with a twist.
Okay, I'm listening. Because stage gate can sometimes sound a bit, bureaucratic.
Yeah.
Maybe slow.
That's the common criticism, and you're right to raise it. The book acknowledges that traditional stage gate can become rigid and stifle creativity.
So what's the twist?
The twist is embedding agile principles within each stage and gate. So it's not just about getting sequential sign-offs. Each stage itself can operate like a mini agile sprint.
Ah, interesting.
You have continuous feedback loops, maybe rapid prototyping within the stage, early user testing feeding back in. The gates aren't just management hurdles, they become strategic decision points, where teams show validated learning, not just tasks completed.
So you keep the structure and accountability, but inject the speed and learning of Agile.
Precisely. It's trying to get the best of both worlds. Structure without rigidity, thorough vetting without killing the creative spark.
That sounds like a much more dynamic way to manage the pipeline, creating an environment where creativity can actually be channeled effectively rather than just hoping for random flashes of brilliance.
Exactly. Moving from ad hoc to a consistent flow. And related to teams, the book heavily emphasizes building an experimentation culture.
What does that look like in practice?
It means actively encouraging people to form hypotheses and test them. It means celebrating the learning that comes from failed experiments rather than punishing failure itself.
That's a big cultural shift for many places.
It is. It requires psychological safety. People need to feel safe taking calculated risks. The book also talks about having dedicated innovation champions, encouraging ideas to cross-pollinate between departments, and having a really clear vision from leadership that connects everyone's efforts to the bigger picture.
So people see how their experiment fits in.
Right. It fosters that collective sense of purpose, that ownership over innovation.
Okay, so all these pieces, avoiding bad bets early, launching smarter, managing teams and processes, effectively, they all lead to that final, really critical promise, right? Transforming ideas into solutions that are profitable, but also sustainable.
Yes. That's the ultimate goal, isn't it? An idea is one thing, but a solution that generates profit and endures over time. That makes a real, lasting impact.
And the book specifically uses that word, sustainable. Why is that so important?
It's absolutely paramount. The author discusses this through a concept they call value lifecycle management.
Value lifecycle management. Okay.
It means thinking beyond just the product launch. It's about strategically planning for that innovation's entire lifespan, its long-term viability.
So thinking years ahead.
Exactly. Considering things like, how long will this market exist? How can this solution evolve as customer needs change? How resource efficient is it to produce and deliver? What's its broader impact socially, environmentally?
Wow. Okay. That's a much bigger picture than just Q1 profits. It's asking, how does this thing keep providing value and stay relevant, like way down the road? That feels truly strategic.
It is. It requires real foresight, understanding the whole ecosystem your innovation lives in. The book pushes you to be proactive, to anticipate future shifts, maybe build in adaptability from the start, modular design perhaps, or open platforms others can build on.
Building a legacy, not just a product, as you said earlier.
Precisely. The aim isn't just a quick win, but creating enduring value that can weather market storms and stay ahead of the competition.
Okay, so let's wrap this up a bit for everyone listening. What this deep dive into innovation management really shows us is that mastering innovation isn't just about having clever ideas. It's about a system, right? A robust, experience-backed system. We've talked about avoiding those costly mistakes using things like that innovation portfolio scorecard.
And hypothesis testing.
Right, and launching with more confidence using stage market entry, MVPs.
Building that hybrid innovation ecosystem for your teams.
Exactly. And ultimately, aiming for solutions that aren't just profitable now, but are truly sustainable for the long haul.
And that core idea from the source, it bears repeating. Innovation has definitely moved beyond just being a competitive edge.
Yeah.
It really is a fundamental requirement for survival now. Understanding these processes, applying them diligently, it's not just about getting ahead anymore, it's about staying in the game and significantly speeding up your success in this tough market.
And the great thing is, these principles aren't just for CEOs or tech startups.
Not at all.
Whether you're running a big company, growing a small one, advising others, or even just trying to bring new ideas to life in your own work, the insights we've covered today can genuinely help you. They empower you to navigate that innovation landscape much more effectively, with more confidence, and frankly, a better shot at success. It's about taking control in a world that just demands constant change.
It really is about moving from just reacting to change to proactively shaping your own future through a clear, strategic approach to innovation.
Absolutely. So, as we finish up, here's something to think about, a little provocative thought for you. Given that innovation is now a survival requirement, non-negotiable, Where, in your own work or maybe even your life, are you holding back on a creative idea, mainly because you perceive the risk as too high?
A good question.
And then think, how could a more strategic approach, like the ones we've discussed from this source, focusing on that early validation, the stage rollout, building that experimentation culture, how could that help you turn that idea from just a possibility stuck in your head into something real, tangible, and hopefully successful?
Something to definitely mull over.
Yeah. Think about it and start innovating assertively. Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.